Playing that shit.
You gonna get Oh! Who came up with this? You? Now I know where you got it.
We got this is the Turnt Up meeting 2013. We got the Midwestern Disc Jockey Coalition, also photographer extraordinaire.
Like next.
Oh, that's right. Ray back there behind the wheels doing some Serato. And we got Rose, who is the barn diva.
Am I the barn? Oh,
Break it down. What can you tell us about the barn?
no pressure.
No pressure.
Well, we're a ministry of the Franciscan Sisters of the Poor. Our mission is to offer space for people, individuals, and for community groups and community members to have meetings, to share what they love to do, to share their passions and their talents. So we have all different sorts of classes and all different sorts of meetings that are held here. We fund our ministry and hope to completely fund it in the next couple of years through event rentals. So this main part of the building that you're in now, we use for weddings, meetings, bat mitzvahs, birthday parties, whatever people want to rent the space for. So that's real nice too. Everything we do here, including the rentals, is on a sliding scale that's based on income and family size. So it does keep it accessible for events, for massage, for whatever it is. There's a lot of independent contractors that operate here, but anyone who does operate here has to be willing to work on that sliding scale. So discounts start at 250% of the poverty level, and that's what we do. That's what we're all about. So help spread the word. If there's people that want to do things, groups that want to meet, people who have something they want to offer and are looking for space to do it, send them our way. And especially if there's people who want to rent space, send them our way too. You know all the people since you do all the engagement. So.
Absolutely. Hey, what's the capacity of this room where we're at right now?
With our tables and chairs, 120.
And what is the
If you're doing a conference, we can do about 180 in here and still keep the aisleways.
has anybody ever rented out the entire facility, all rooms?
Yes.
What is the capacity of the entire facility?
We have seating plans for up to 300 guests, and that's with tables and chairs. Not with our tables and chairs, though. You have to rent tables and chairs to get that many in because our tables are rounds, 4 and 5 foot rounds, and our chairs, as you can tell, are generously sized. So you have to plan like a chair and a half for every regular chair. Yeah, and they're comfortable. They're great for all day, like conferences and things, but when you're trying to fit a bunch of people around a table for a wedding, it's not quite as convenient.
Is this an alcohol-free facility?
No, it is not, although we do not carry a liquor license. So if you're having a closed event that you're not charging for, you can provide alcohol to your guests. If you are doing a nonprofit event or those kind of functions, you have to either get a temporary liquor license or you have to contract with the caterer that carries a liquor license. All of our caterers that we work with do. It does add to the cost, and that is something that we're working on this year is getting our liquor license. So we'll see if we do that or not. We kind of go back and forth with which we should do. So, but we're not alcohol free. So.
And if somebody wants to get in touch with you or to be able
Call
to...
me at 513-761-1697. Hi. That's
Okay. All right, so this is the introduction. What's going on here? All right.
For those that want to see introduction of the showcase,
Yo, you want to learn a little more in-depth detail about Serato, the TTM 57 mixer.
Okay, thank you so much.
Classes in session. RayThaDJ Phillips, DJ Tech, about to do a technical little something about Serato and the TTM 57 mixer. Basically, what your TTM 57 mixer is, your 56 with the Serato software or hardware built into the mixer. So instead of having a separate box, it's all built into the mixer.
Put the sun in the bed.
All right, Mike.
All right, Mike.
Again, this is just a TTM 56 with the hardware built into it. So it has everything that's built into Serato, the hardware, here. So you don't have to touch your computer at all. Not necessarily. I mean, if you want to just go in and type in whatever you look for, you know you can do that through your keyboard. But everything is all controlled through the group here. So when you go into bank one, what it is like 3 of your cue points on each side. So you got your cue point 1 for this turntable, 2, 3, all on this side. 4, 5, and 6, the same. It's here. When you go into group 1, wait, my bad. When you go into group 2, basically it's all 5 of your cue points and your loop control on one deck. You hit the deck button here, and you do the same on this side. Group 3, that's basically like your internal controls. Like if you don't use the turntables, you know, you can just go in and you can either switch from absolute, I forget what they call that.
Relative.
There you go. And your internal mode. So your internal mode, you don't use any turntables. You can control everything just by pushing the play. Same with the other side. You can also like set up like real quick cue points on the fly by pushing your bank button, the bank 2 button. 4, I think, is for your video control. And you could actually view everything that your banks is set up as is and through the laptop here. You can look at it here and you'll see what does what. So I think this is basically for your looping and your cue points. That's it. So, okay, you got it on there. When you go to 5, that's actually for your video mixing. I don't have a video mixer, so I can't really demonstrate any of that. When you go on to 6, that's for your effects. So you got your echo, but you can like switch it.
Oh, damn, I got other one.
You got your echo here. And you can also use these effects here when you're using regular vinyl. So you don't have to really have the Serato to use the effects on here. And you could also set it to where you could just use your flex effects, like you can run an auxiliary through your flex effect to control your effects through there as well without having to switch through your groups on here.
For your loop out, does it make you set your parameters on there, or does it do it automatically?
You can set them, and then you could also, I mean, you could pretty much
set it to something.
Because with itch, you have to keep adjusting it for the
yeah,
different
you could
speeds
do
of the
that,
loop out.
and then you could also like pretty much manually set them like that. I don't really use it because I'm just like in the habit of setting them through here, or with my dicers. You know, I got my loop settings through there too, so you know it's pretty much the same
You're going
as
to have
how
to show me how to do that, too.
what the loop on the dicer.
Yeah, set it to the echo and all that.
Oh, okay, yeah. You got the 57?
No, I use mine with the 56.
Oh, nah, these are all effects. That's
I'm talking about
built
with
into
the
mix.
dicers, though. I know you can set it to use the effects.
Right.
No,
No.
I just don't know how to do it.
Oh yeah, that's your MIDI mapping. So
I've gotten used to doing it by hand.
yeah, so you can go into MIDI here.
And which we talked about the NS7 uses itch, and you can't MIDI map with that.
No.
Yeah, okay.
When they come out with the new version that they're coming out with, which is supposed to replace it, I think it's called like DJ Intro or something like that.
Intro.
That's going to allow you to map. That's supposed to be what's replacing itch.
I stopped using Itch and went back to Virtual DJ because it's more flexible.
With what? With your
With
NS7?
my NS7, yeah.
I mean, the
On
only
the
problem
videos.
the only problem is if you scratch. It's hard to scratch with Virtual DJ with the NS7 because it has too much of a delay. Even when
Well, if you change the settings in the,
I've even tried on changing the settings. If you start really start crab scratch and stuff like that, dragging out,
Oh.
the response time is really.
I only got one scratch.
Oh, okay.
We're fine.
All right. Well, back on the Serato. My bad.
Right,
I kind
yeah,
of took us
but
off on the itch.
Like with your effects, like you could actually you click on the MIDI option here, and what you do is press and hold here. Click on it to switch it on, and then it sets your MIDI. So, because I don't really use that, I'm gonna delete that. Yeah, but yeah, basically all it is for those who aren't really too familiar, all it is just to control your music files to your MP3.
I don't know if you ever seen DJ Pillow. He DJed with one turntable. He studied using this thing, switching that one to the other.
Oh yeah, your toggles. Yeah, so and what that does, you can either do that with like instant doubles. Like if you're playing one song, and all you gotta do is flip that over and it'll switch to the same song that you have on this deck here. So let me do that again real quick so you can get that. So we got one song here, and then I hit that toggle, and then it's gonna put the same song you got loaded up in the second deck, or vice versa.
So you just move it over to that side and then
Yeah.
you're back on that one turntable.
Pretty
with
much.
new
Yep.
record.
And then you got your various ways, your various views of how you want to view your screen here. Like right here, this is for me to help stay grounded and not depend on watching the waveforms. You know, just kind of being brought up in that vinyl era. You know, I want to stick to that. A lot of DJs uses this one here,
That's what I use.
or some use this one. I started out with that one, and I started out doing that. Then I went to that. So I don't, like I said, so I don't have to watch these. You know, I want to stick with playing by ear. So
That definitely will make you do that.
You know, when it first came out, though, you didn't have them options.
no, you didn't.
And so I got used
It was
to
just
using
that
it one way.
right?
And so
Yeah,
I never
exactly.
switched. I just didn't want to learn looking at it no other way.
Yeah, I ain't much of a teacher. I could pretty much just give you the basics of what I know about the mixer. Like I said, it's everything all in one unit. You don't have to worry about traveling with an extra box. You know, just plug and play. That's it. With your box, you know, you gotta hook up everything from the box, from the mixer to the computer, you know, to the turntables and all that.
Right. That extra external, what, SL1, 2,
Yeah.
3, and 4?
Right, exactly.
I'm still doing it the other way, but I'm about to get this.
Yeah,
I want
I
the
should-
62.
I want the 62. That's what I want,
62.
but
Man.
that's
I
how
should
my
boot
tax
up time.
time.
$62,000.
Because I know a lot of guys use the box complain about the boot up time on a Serato.
Yeah,
I
usually
don't
it does
have
take
none
a
of
while,
that
but with
box.
this, like, it comes on just like that.
I don't have none of that.
You know, just I turn it off. You know, it just pops right back up.
Nice.
Nice to meet you too, Michelle. Have a
Alright.
good night.
Yeah, before I maxed out my RAM on my Mac, it didn't pop up that quick. Now it does now, but not out the box it did.
When
Yeah,
that's-
and I also put 8 gigs
Well,
in
wait.
here. It was
That's what I
4
did.
gigs, I put 8 in
What was the difference there? When you turned it off, what happened?
Oh, well,
Turntables went off because that's the control.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Turn it on.
the only bad thing with this is with your dices plugged in, you have to unplug the dices, or you have to close that out and
You gotta,
Exactly.
well, on mine, I gotta boot it up first and then plug the dices in.
Right.
If you boot it up with the dices plugged in and the Serato, it's gonna have problems with that driver.
yeah, and I'm gonna have to basically close this out and open it back up again in order for my dices to be able to be used again. Exactly. So, and I mean, I got cue points loaded here,
But
but
if you just pull it out and put it back in, it should re-recognize.
no, that's what I did.
Oh, for real?
Yep.
One of the things now, I haven't been able to do this with Itch, but I used to do it with Virtual DJ a lot, and this is kind of depends what kind of DJ you are. I can go back and forth between turntables, but sometimes I'll program my drops on another deck, and I have a set of 24 pads. Now I'll literally just keep hitting drops, and I can literally make a song out of just hitting drops while the songs are playing. Just another way to just be creative.
24 pads on what?
Like the MPC, you ever seen like
Oh,
the
yeah.
MPC pads?
Okay, yeah.
I can't do it with Itch yet until the intro comes out, but with Serato you can do it, and with Virtual DJ you can do it.
Yeah, using cue points and
Yeah,
stuff like that.
I'll just load up a couple of drops on a table, and I'm hitting any one of the 24 pads. I'm just hitting cue points while the songs are playing. Kind of just another way of just like doing your own kind of remixes on the fly.
Right.
It's kind of similar to these.
Yeah.
It's
Right,
just the pads
right.
are bigger.
Yeah,
They're a
yeah.
little bit bigger. They light up.
What is it you have? What?
Those are the MPD 36, I believe, or something like that.
They say smaller than the standard.
The box is about this big, but it sits up. Mine sits up. My laptop sits like right here, and then there's like another stand that sits underneath it. It's only when I feel like using it. It's kind of similar to this stand here, but my pads kind of sits underneath. But they're out.
You said it doesn't work with Itch or that?
Not with Itch. No, it's going to work with Intro, and it'll work with Virtual DJ. But Itch doesn't let you MIDI map yet. I mean, that's kind of one of the things I've been working on. I found programs that'll let you do it, but it works good at home, but it never works when I go out.
Dices.
So if I want to,
Too much of a risk.
yeah, it's too much of a risk. If I want to go back to hit my pads and scratching, I have to use Virtual DJ when I'm out. because unfortunately you can't use the NS7 with Serato.
Well, then, with that in mind, what's the whole thing about Serato? What the Serato has some competition, and we've been talking about behind the scenes. I done talked to people that's using different things. Like I talked to Phil Tucker, and he uses
Trackster?
Torque.
Torque.
Yeah, he uses Torque.
Trackster's pretty good too, man.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Tractor.
Yeah.
Tractor.
Eric Hilson,
You can do
DJ,
everything.
Mr. Fantastic, he uses Tractor.
You can use vinyl, you can use controllers, you can use effects. I mean, these are like all the stuff is just like instantly integrated. Like if you say if you want like you're a pad controller like I am. When I first started out, I couldn't afford turntables. When I first started out, like in the clubs, I had 2 sets of 24 pads, and you couldn't tell I wasn't using turntables because I could push those trigger pads so fast. You didn't know if I was scratching or if I was literally up there dragging an album back unless you actually walk.
How much are them? That's some of the $149 deals you talking
My
about?
pads cost the first set of pads I got, them pads was like $79 a piece.
Okay.
Those are the MPD 24s. Now my 30, I think they're 36. I forget the model numbers, but I think those were like a little over 100. But the Tractor gives you, and Serato gives you more flexibility as far as like integrating other controls. I mean, like going a lot out of town with my brother. I've been in Spain, I've been in Japan. I mean, and I like to go to the clubs and look at what other DJs, other parts of the country are doing. And that's when I first saw that when I went to Japan. Little guys over there got 1200s and they got a set of 24 pads and you got 2 guys DJing, somebody hitting pad. I'm like, what in the world is they doing? So I start doing it here.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that's a way to make remixes on the fly. I can put an instrumental on and just have a series of 24 drops and I'm just hitting random words. I can have Tupac playing and I can have something else going, just hitting pads. You don't know what I'm doing.
It's something like this.
Kind of making your own beat.
Yep. You're using cue points.
And that's just with the dicer.
Dice are using cue points.
What you
I
got?
have an instrumental going, doing the same thing.
Pre-programmed cue points. That are real simple to make another one just if I hit that.
Okay, so
Like you
now
sit over
that's
hitting the
one
beat,
part.
but hands up.
But you MIDI map that though.
No, this is
that
it's plug and play basically. You can MIDI map these dicers into doing whatever you want them to do. You know, like right
So
now.
what, you got a MIDI map to do cue points?
You don't have to MIDI map
Oh, you
the
don't?
cue points because they're already set. They already set. You put them right out the box and they set to go. Like with the dicers right now, these are all set for my cue points.
Is anyone using Tractor?
Here,
Eric Hilson.
I played around with it at Guitar Center, man.
this is your loop roll right here. And you can do this.
I love pads. I know some DJs don't like them, but man, when you get excited, I'm telling you, you can do
These
some
are dice are fun, man. I'm telling you.
interesting things with those.
They're like 100 for it. Or is it?
Dude, I got mine for what was it, $69 because I found an ad
Yeah, because the
on.
price keeps going down.
I found an ad on the internet where somebody had them on sale. And I took it to Guitar Center and they matched it.
I paid 80
Yeah,
for
that
mine.
stuff does work.
You can get really creative.
Coupons do work. Extreme couponing for
Is
DJs.
that like an adhesive on the bottom? that sticks
No,
to
you
the
actually
center?
just sit in
Shit right in the
there.
hole.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. Do that again. Bam.
You
Sit,
can
sit
get
right
real creative with them.
Yeah, they
So
got
that's all the features of what it does?
with the dicers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that your cue points,
No.
your loop roll,
You can set whatever
and
you
then
want.
your loops, and then you can
hold
also,
that
like I
on
say, you
this
can
one.
MIDI
Check
map them to however you want them. You know, whatever you want them to control in here. You know, I don't use it because pretty much everything that I need is in the mixer and here. You know, so if I want to use cue points, I'm usually staying stuck in my effects bank. If I'm not in my effects bank, I'm on my B groups, so I could pretty much scroll through my crates. You know, change my music around. You know, whenever I'm looking for a song, you know, I could just scroll. You can scroll through crates.
You can scroll. It's got a scroll button on here.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You scroll knobs, you know, whatever. But for the most part,
And when you in the club and you getting sweaty, your fingers getting sweaty, and that pad don't want to respond right.
right, exactly.
For real.
It just comes in handy too. Like sometimes I'm in the middle of something and I want to go to a specific spot in the song. I don't use 1200s. I use the NS7. I mean, it has a search pad, and I could easily go up and touch it. I hate to touch the computer. I'm like him. That's one thing I like about the N7 is you can go get that strip right in the middle. But with my cue point set, man, I can hit a pad, it'll go right to where I want it to.
Oh, that's another thing I meant to show you. Like, what you could also do, like how I got mine set, is I could drop to my cue point. So I could do like this. Let me find a song, because this is just an instrumental.
So you just click go into settings and click start
Drop
at cue
to cue
point.
points, yeah.
But sometimes you want the beginning of the song. So
Yeah,
you gotta
now-
go in and unclick that.
Yeah, sometimes, but I mean, what I do is I just go to the strip search. You know, so that's when I use I just do it like
Dude,
that.
I used Serato for like 3 years before I even used any of the extra stuff. I used it just straight as 2 turntables.
I mean, because that's what you're used to.
And then I saw a pillow down at the Black Fountain. I was like, damn.
With that one
Some of these toys on here.
So that's what I started. I started out
Okay.
with my first turntable was just one.
I got a
I had a
question.
CDJ.
On the Serato, there is some of these things that DJ do, like Saint or Hollywood. They'll advertise their name through the music. Now, how do they do that through Serato?
Turn up.
You got your setup, your sample player. It's got 4 banks, so basically 6 of them. So you get like 24 of them.
Now, is that actually in the software itself?
Yeah, that's built into the software. The sample player is built into the software.
But
So
you can drag that onto a turntable and use it
Exactly.
with the dice. It's like,
Yeah,
put one on
exactly.
there.
Right.
Let's see, let's do this one.
But it's just basically a drop. You get somebody to record something. You got it as an
Yeah.
audio file. It's an MP3, and you just triggering it with whatever you got.
I don't even know what they're saying. Though.
But that's the question. How do you get it loaded up on there? You have to
Just like
make
a-
it a WAV file
just
and
yeah,
turn it
just
into
like-
MP3.
It's the same as you dragging
saw.
and dropping files into the Serato, but you have to do it manually with your trackpad and
Okay.
drop it up in there.
So it doesn't like actually do the effects like you want it. You have to make that first.
I mean,
And
Yeah,
throw
you
it
have
into
to.
the-
Yeah, you have to
Yeah,
create
you
your
can.
drop first.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't really. This is not good for creating drops.
Okay.
Yeah, nah. I mean, you gotta have your editing
Oh,
software.
that's 61 and 62. That's right here though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
That's $2,000. 62. The 2 stand for $2,000.
Hey, if your hustle is tight like it's supposed to be, you go ahead and do you about 7 gigs, you get one of those.
Sniper Squad.
Oh,
Yeah, but you could also, like, they have, like, MIDI controllers. Like I said, you could use, like, MIDI controllers to control everything in here. You know, so whatever you can't control through your mixer, you can set your MIDI controller up to control through there. Like, I've seen DJs who use the sample player, like, as their third deck. You know what I'm saying? So, like, they'll have, like, an instrumental playing in a sample player. They'll have some scratching samples on one turntable, then they can switch over to the next sample turntable.
Playing 3 different joints. At
Yeah,
the same time.
I mean, like, the possibilities on here are endless. Not as good as Tracker. I think with Serato, they're good, but they're a little behind because Tracker is constantly stepping up. Like, when they started out, like, they jumped off the porch with all kinds of insanity in their software. Serato kind of kept it simple.
so is there a reason which I've heard of stuff before, but is there a reason why you use Serato versus use?
Serato just became the standard.
Yeah.
You know, if you go somewhere else or whatever, people gonna have their stuff set up for Serato. Tractor, you don't. That's just like the festivals for the rest of us or something. You know, it just that ain't.
And I think
Well,
Tractor is more production savvy. Like, it's like a lot of DJs that do use Tractor are mostly producers. Even though, you know, DJs are considered producers, for the most part, those DJs that do use Tractor are, for the most part, in the studio producing their
Tractor
own
is a
stuff.
little bit more complicated to use, right?
Well, I wouldn't say it's complicated. To me, I mean, because I could pick it up. Like, the thing of it is like, they just have a whole lot of stuff in there. You know what I'm saying? And the thing of it is, like, Tractor, I think it enables, like, beginners. You know what I'm saying? It kind of, I think it will be made more for beginners because they have like things where you don't have to worry about the turntables and stuff or any kind of controller like, the sync thing or whatever they call it. Like, I mean, basically it's kind of set up like virtual DJ almost, just exploded, because it's got your mixer and everything built into that if you're not using any type of controller.
Digging in the crates. Look at it.
I was looking for 2 songs. I was going.
One thing I say I never use on my NS7. I've never hit the sync button.
Yeah, exactly.
That sync button.
Exactly.
If I'm, I have
This
to
is my
touch.
sync right here.
I will truthfully say on my NS7,
That's my
it's the
sync.
only button I've never pushed. Because if I'm not moving that, if I'm not hitting that speed control, if I'm not touching the side of that platter that's moving, it's like something doesn't click. I have to be doing those things that I'm used to. And I didn't even
You get
start
that
on
Phil
my-
Collins song, man? I can feel it.
It's probably in there, but it's not in the Serato.
On the song, Q-Tip Ryan, I was going to DJ do that Jazzy Jeff one that he did with that.
I ain't even hip to that one.
He put that in.
Man, you know what has saved my life plenty of times? Like getting to a club and I'm having like a technical difficulty, which I don't have that many, but when I do, Pandora and have mixtapes on my phone.
Yeah. Plug it into the
If I got a regular club that I'm at, I'll leave a set of RCA to quarter inch to like 1/8 inch jack already on their house mixer. So if I come in, I can turn on my mixtapes, which are on my phone, which are like 4 hours long. I can hit play because I record all my practice sessions at home. I don't know if y'all guys do it, but my dad used to always.
That's the safest way to do it when you start.
My dad used to make me record myself to hear myself. Then I can try to get better.
Right.
So I record all my mix sessions, and just as a mercy, if I have a technical difficulty at any given time, I got a 5-hour mix on my phone, and they're always different.
But that also helps out when you
I
get
got
ready
too much
to
on.
get
I
set
don't
up
even know
as
what the hell
well.
I got, man.
You go ahead, hurry up, hook these babies up, hook up the mixer, plug that in, boom. You can play that while you doing the rest of your stuff to hook up. Yeah.
It comes in handy, especially if you have technical difficulties, or if you just need to step away. Yep.
Does anybody got any questions?
What kind of?
What is this right here?
Help me figure out how to get the dicer to work with
the
itch.
loop. That's what
Okay.
That's my question.
Well, maybe a little bit. Just that you mentioned that you and Damon kind of both mentioned that Serato is kind of the standard. Although it sounds like Tractor can do a lot more as far as production is concerned. I just randomly watched some videos and I saw Qbert, and Qbert was like just comparing the two.
Right.
And you've seen that,
Yeah,
seen that, and it's
As far as sound, there's not that much of a difference.
It's
Right,
really
right.
not that much of a
There
difference
is
at
no
all.
difference.
Right.
It can't be really.
right. Well,
The effect
his
on the
thing,
features,
he was talking
there
about
is.
was not that has to be global, but he talked about how Tractor was hot over in Europe. If you go to Europe, they got all tractors all over there.
They're very controller heavy.
we the
over in
best,
Europe.
America.
They're very
What?
controller
Say that
heavy.
again.
We the best in America.
Hey, I'm out.
Okay, man. Hey, man. We appreciate you coming out, man.
Appreciate it.
You spectacular, man.
Thank
We
you,
appreciate
thank you. I'm gonna get those pictures to you.
Most definitely, we appreciate it.
All right, Ralph, we appreciate it, man.
All right, bro.
Hey, yeah, especially if y'all at the club or whatever, and they ain't got no camera guy to take pictures, and you know what I'm saying. If they need somebody, look out for me.
Okay, most def, man. Most
Are you in
def.
the group too?
No, he ain't in the group. I can put him in the group.
I mean,
Won't be in the
Say-
group.
Yeah, that way he can see what's going down in the group.
If I got the same camera, I'm about to
And
go
then
out with
they
you. I
can
need to
just
learn
say
my
it right
camera.
there in the group. Look, I'm gonna be at such and such. Camera dude, if you want to be there, come on.
Okay, okay.
I'll be at such
Most
and
def.
such.
All right, I'll do that. I'll do that.
So that
All right, appreciate you, brother. All right. All right, you too.
okay, yeah, but like what you were saying, like what Cuba was saying, I mean, there's not really much of a difference as far as sound quality or anything like that. I mean, it's just
Hey, so do I.
That's
why I could never. My father used to tell me, get off before you break my knee.
Oh, just being
Good
behind.
point. My daughter tried to DJ and I wasn't even there. I come home, get ready to put it on. I'm like, what the fuck? I touch it, no needle. I'm like, oh.
See, the only reason why mine are because I started.
try to do.
I started out on.
You got this one slower than others.
Wow, and just flip over and bust my face. The laptop fall over.
Oh
Oh, go Jazzy.
I think it's
Jazzy Stank. Stanky Jeff.
Silver, lights, all I remember, but the flatter room, they had this annoying plastic clip in like right here. Hold the flatter in place. You can't think of the name on top of it. But you couldn't adjust the twine of the flatter.
Watch out, man. Is that thing still, the wire? You might be.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah.
I couldn't adjust that.
These ain't match for me. I mean, they match for you. I've been working with it. That was just the thing. So I don't know what you're trying to go raise up the needles to play the next song? How come I won't do it then?
Do it now.
What, you gotta hit it twice?
Oh yeah, you do gotta. I ain't know what you're talking about.
Oh no, I'm just fucking with you, but it wasn't working.
Okay, brother. All right.
This is a hobby. That's all I'm talking for real.
There you go.
We think the same thing.
Hey man, hey Jeff do the best with his ever seen up there.
He is on that club.
And every time I think I got it down, he switches it. He did something different.
Yeah.
Did you hear him break down our bad on what was the awards, hip hop honors? Oh my, dude, watch that. I watched that. How bad.
I seen most of all his videos.
Eminem and Black Thought rapping, and he just break. Dude, he smashed.
All right, so that will conclude
I never
the
even
Serato
started
Scratch
doing
Live
that when I bad before I saw that. I was like,
tutorial,
The truth, man.
technical showcase, whatever.
He the reason why I
You
got
want
on
to call it.
Anytime I
DJ
go out and I
Tech
see
signing
y'all
off.
and other DJs, that's
Appreciate
another thing I should have
Butch.
said whenever
No, appreciate you, brother.
DJs in the coalition, much love to all of y'all.
People don't want to
Sean Kelly, you be careful out there, man. Safe travels, man. And God bless you all. So.